Think you know what really happens when the palace doors slam shut and the cameras turn off? For years, the world thought Sarah Ferguson and Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's daughters were just quiet, innocent bystanders escaping their family's massive downfalls. But a jaw-dropping exposé from a royal insider who dealt with them behind closed doors has just shattered that entire illusion, revealing a side to Beatrice and Eugenie that the public was never supposed to see. You'll want to stay tuned until the very end of this video, because a newly uncovered financial bombshell is about to flip this entire story on its head and change how you view the royal family forever. If you love diving deep into the secrets the palace desperately tries to hide, take a quick second to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss the shocking twists we have coming up next. The polished, smiling images of the York sisters plastered across the media are a total lie. While the public has spent years slamming Beatrice and Eugenie as overly privileged, naive, or completely out of touch, the real story unfolding deep within the private palace corridors tells a fundamentally different tale. It is a reality that former royal staff members have kept quiet about for nearly a decade until now. The truth about how these sisters operate when the public isn't watching has finally leaked out, and it has completely blindsided the royal household. For years, insiders say the palace staff has witnessed behaviors that never make the evening news. Unlike other high-ranking family members who famously treat the help like invisible phantoms, Beatrice and Eugenie reportedly broke every unspoken rule in the royal playbook. Former royal butler Grant Harold, who served within the inner circle for years, recently exposed the exact details of what happened in those quiet, hidden corridors when no cameras were rolling. He revealed that the sisters did something highly unusual for royals of their rank. They actually looked the staff in the eye, remembered their names, and treated them with deep, genuine respect. While other royals demanded a cold, mandatory distance, Eugenie made a point of stopping for unscripted conversations, always using her pleases and thank yous with a warmth that left the household absolutely stunned. But this surprisingly grounded reputation isn't just a heartwarming detail. It hides a much darker, growing pressure. It reveals two young women who are deeply desperate for normal human connection because their own family dynamic is completely fracturing. As their parents' scandalous history continues to dominate global headlines, the psychological toll on the sisters has reached an absolute breaking point. Reports suggest that behind closed doors, Eugenie has frequently struggled to reconcile fierce family loyalty with the crushing weight of public expectation. Insiders claim she is entirely driven by deep emotion rather than cold, calculated strategy, a trait that close friends say has repeatedly backfired on her within the ruthless environment of the royal court. This emotional loyalty means she leads with her heart, fiercely protecting her family even when it ruins her own public image. Yet, just as these warm staff accounts began to leak out and challenge the media's harsh narrative, a ruthless new threat emerged from the very top of the family hierarchy. A silent war was being plotted against them from within their own bloodline, driven by a prince who values strategy over emotion. And the future king was about to deliver an ultimatum that would shatter their lives forever. Prince William is quietly preparing a ruthless purge of the royal family, and Beatrice and Eugenie are directly in the crosshairs. For months, rumors indicate that the future king has been mapping out a highly restrictive blueprint for the monarchy's future. It is a plan driven by cold efficiency, leaving absolutely no room for non-working royals who expect palace perks without doing the heavy lifting. While the public views William as a stabilizing force, behind closed doors, sources close to him reveal he is ready to look under the hood of the entire institution. He is determined to eliminate anything that threatens the survival of the crown, and his cousin's lifestyle is officially on the chopping block. But this isn't just about streamlining the monarchy, it is a deeply personal ideological clash. Insiders claim that William has grown increasingly conscious of how the public perceives family members living under highly favorable terms while the rest of the country struggles. While he reportedly possesses a degree of sympathy for what his cousins have endured due to their parents' chaotic headlines, business is business. The days of floating by on a royal title are officially over. Yet, the real friction between William and the York sisters runs far deeper than just public relations, stretching into a territory that the palace considers an act of ultimate betrayal. For years, Eugenie has quietly operated as a rogue agent within her own family. Reports suggest she was one of the very last bridges connecting Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to the rest of the royal household after their dramatic exit. While the rest of the family cut ties and shut down communication, Eugenie was allegedly spotted attending private dinners and keeping lines of communication open. To some royal watchers, this was a beautiful display of family loyalty. But to William and the inner circle, it looked like a highly dangerous, misplaced allegiance. This subtle defiance has placed an invisible target on her back, turning a family rift into an all-out Cold War. Now, that hidden tension is exploding into the light. Reports suggest that both sisters have recently made sudden, unexpected trips outside the UK, with Beatrice spotted at a high-level economic initiative in Saudi Arabia. Rumours are swirling that they are actively seeking an escape route, looking to establish their own financial independence before the hammer drops in London. But just as the sisters scrambled to secure their futures abroad, an entirely separate investigation was quietly unfolding in the background. A massive financial paper trail was about to leak to the public, exposing a secret agreement that would completely destroy their defense and ignite a massive wave of public outrage. Beatrice and Eugenie have been caught red-handed in a massive financial deception that has completely enraged the British public. For years, the world was led to believe that the York sisters were completely independent, modern career women who paid full market value for their luxurious London homes. It was a perfect public relations narrative that allowed them to enjoy royal status while appearing self-sufficient. But a recent explosive investigation has shattered that illusion into a million pieces, exposing a secret financial arrangement that the palace desperately tried to keep under wraps. The truth came crashing down when a highly sensitive report leaked from the National Audit Office. For a long time, it was understood that Beatrice personally paid out of pocket for her lavish apartment in St. James's Palace, while Eugenie did the same for her exclusive cottage within the Kensington Palace grounds. But the newly exposed documents tell a radically different story. The investigation revealed that neither sister has ever paid a single penny of her own money toward rent. Instead, the staggering costs have been quietly picked up behind the scenes, funded entirely by King Charles using his private income. This revelation has triggered absolute fury across the nation, with financial experts immediately branding the setup as a corrupt sweetheart deal. Critics are demanding to know why everyday citizens are struggling with a massive cost of living crisis while non-working royals are living completely rent-free in historic palaces. Royal experts believe this sudden exposure has backed the sisters into a corner, completely forcing their hands. The public backlash is now so severe that insiders claim neither princess will ever be allowed to live inside a royal palace again unless they immediately start paying full market value out of their own bank accounts. But the financial bleeding doesn't stop with the daughters. As investigators continued to dig deeper into the leaked audit, the paper trail led straight back to their controversial parents. It turns out this rent scandal was just the tip of a much larger, darker iceberg. The documents uncovered a shocking loophole that allowed their father to pull off a highly questionable property scheme right under the king's nose. And the fallout from that discovery was about to trigger the complete humiliating collapse of the entire York dynasty. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor and Sarah Ferguson have just been hit with a devastating reality check that has completely destroyed what was left of their royal lifestyle. For decades, the couple lived like kings inside the magnificent 30-room Royal Lodge estate, stubbornly defying every attempt by the palace to push them out. But the illusion of their permanent luxury has officially shattered. Following a brutal, forced eviction orchestrated from the very top, the family's empire has suffered an absolute humiliating collapse. The scale of their downscaling is nothing short of jaw-dropping. Reports indicate that Andrew has been entirely stripped of his remaining royal titles and exiled far away to Norfolk, forced into a much smaller 5-bedroom farmhouse known as Marsh Farm on the Sandringham estate. This sparse red brick property is a massive downgrade from the sprawling mansion he once dominated, now retrofitted with intense security fences and CCTV to keep the disgraced former royal completely hidden from the public eye. But the physical move itself isn't the most shocking part of this sudden exile. It is the sudden, unprecedented fracturing of his own marriage. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, the long-standing domestic arrangement between Andrew and Sarah Ferguson has completely fallen apart. Despite divorcing all the way back in 1996, the couple famously continued to cohabit and protect each other under one roof at Royal Lodge. But insiders reveal that when the moving trucks arrived, Ferguson stayed behind in Windsor, refusing to follow her ex-husband into his isolated Norfolk exile. This sudden separation has left the family dynamic in total chaos, with friends whispering that the stress of the situation has pushed everyone involved to an absolute breaking point. And the pressure outside their new walls is growing increasingly dangerous. Just weeks after arriving at his new farmhouse, rumors indicate that Andrew faced a terrifying security scare when a masked man breached the estate grounds, aggressively running toward him while shouting insults. To make matters worse, he was recently spotted driving with a massive, unexplained purple bruise stretching across his face, sending the media into absolute overdrive. Yet, as the parents struggle to survive the ruins of their old life, the ultimate fallout is landing squarely on the shoulders of their daughters. Beatrice and Eugenie are now looking at a completely toxic family legacy, realizing that their association with the family name is rapidly poisoning their own futures. And a final, impossible choice is staring them right in the face. Beatrice and Eugenie are facing a brutal ultimatum that could force them to permanently strip themselves of their own royal identities. The countdown on their futures has officially begun, and the walls are closing in fast. With their father permanently exiled and the public completely enraged over their secret rent-free lifestyle, the sisters have reached a terrifying crossroads. Insiders say they now have only one viable option left to survive the public backlash, and it requires a sacrifice that would have been completely unthinkable just a few short months ago. The strategy currently being whispered about behind palace doors is a total game-changer. Reports suggest that high-level royal experts are aggressively advising the sisters to voluntarily renounce their princess titles entirely. Dropping the prestigious titles is no longer just a wild theory. It is being framed as an urgent act of public survival. By stepping forward and willingly giving up their royal status, Beatrice and Eugenie would instantly signal extreme self-awareness, integrity, and profound respect for the public's growing frustration. But pulling off a dramatic move like this requires a level of cold calculation that could completely fracture the sisters' relationship forever. The internal battle over this decision is already tearing the family apart from the inside. Insiders paint a picture of intense behind-the-scenes friction, revealing that the two sisters are handling the immense psychological pressure in completely opposite ways. While Beatrice has been spotted trying to put on a brave face for the cameras, Eugenie is reportedly completely appalled by the endless scandals and desperately wants to distance herself from the drama. For years, she has quietly built a highly successful career in the international art world, proving she can thrive entirely outside the royal bubble. But walking away from the monarchy completely means leaving behind everything they have ever known. This impossible choice is about to change the shape of the British monarchy forever. If they refuse to give up their titles, royal experts believe Prince William will show absolutely no mercy, stripping away the remaining remnants of their royal lives the exact moment he takes the throne. They are running out of time, and every single move they make is being watched by millions of eyes. Yet, as the public waits for the sisters to make their final, definitive move, the ultimate mystery isn't just about what they choose to do next. It is about whether the world is truly ready to see past the massive scandals and judge these two women for who they actually are. So, when multiple people who worked deep inside the royal system describe Princess Eugenie as genuinely kind, polite, and emotionally authentic behind closed doors, does that completely change how you see her? Or do the immense privilege, the hidden sweetheart deals, and the non-stop controversies surrounding her family make it impossible to ever truly trust her image again? It is a fascinating moral dilemma that leaves the public completely split. On one hand, you have two sisters who are clearly trying to carve out normal, respectful lives while dealing with a toxic family legacy they didn't create. On the other hand, The massive financial secrets leaked from the palace walls prove that they are still heavily insulated from the realities of the real world. The choice facing Beatrice and Eugenie over the coming months will ultimately define how history remembers them. Whether they decide to voluntarily step down and renounce their titles to save their reputations, or stubbornly hold on to their royal status until they are permanently pushed out, the outcome will change the shape of the monarchy forever. But what do you think? Are the York sisters just innocent bystanders caught in a royal crossfire, or are they completely complicit in the entitlement of the crown? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one of them. And if you want to stay ahead of the next explosive secrets the palace is desperately trying to bury, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.